Normally, Doug's used to introducing me, so we're switching it up a little bit this morning. It's kind of like training, Bryce. You know,
Right.
no matter what you do, we have
Yes.
to kind of put people in a position that they're not in normally, so they can see if they grow, right? Okay, and you can take a look at some things. Take a look at some dreams here. I got 5 questions I want to ask you guys. Okay, and I don't have a crystal ball or anything like that, and I'm not one of those 1-900 people that you call up and I'm going to tell you how your life's going to turn out. But I already know the answers to the questions, okay? See if this holds true. I've done this probably for 14 years, okay? The first 2 are going to be no, and the next 3 are going to be yes. And see if you guys break the pattern of 14 years, okay? So that means that you'd be really unique, right, Marie? All right? Who in the room is making all the money they want to make? So that'd be a no, right? Okay.
No.
Who in the room is saving all the money that they want to save? So that would be no also, right? Okay, there's 2 no's. Now here's the 3 yeses. Who would like to make more money? Okay, no brainer, right? Okay. Who'd like to save more money? Okay. So if you saw an opportunity that you can earn, save, and accumulate more money than you presently are doing right now, would you take action?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So no brainer, right? Because if you don't take action, what's the difference between where you are now and where you want to be 5 years from now? Let's take it in reverse. How about where you were 5 years ago and where you are today? What's the difference? Okay, so you have to take action. Does that make good sense to you?
Yes.
So can I assume that if we're not making all the money we want to make, and we're not saving all the money we want to save, that you're probably not driving what you really want to drive and living where you really want to live? I mean, maybe you drive a nice car and maybe you live comfortably, but you know what I'm talking about as far as the ultimates, okay? I mean, I want one of those and I don't have one yet, okay? Does that make sense to you?
Okay.
So when you're looking at some things here, you have to, if you have a JOB, right, job, just over broke, and there's a bunch of different things people say, right? Okay, I used to just say my take-home pay couldn't take me home, but when you look at how that works, most people don't even think about having stuff like that because they know that it's not possible with a job. Would you all agree with that?
Right.
So as we move forward, I'm going to share some concepts with you, okay, on how money works. Would you agree that if you want to become wealthy, Kevin, do you think that wealthy people make more money off their job or their investments? Their investments. So if we're going to be like them, then it makes sense you copy them?
Yes.
So we're going to get some basic education on how this works. So let's look at some statistics. Harvard started a study in the 40s, okay? And what they did is they asked everybody at age 25, millions of people obviously, okay, and they continue to do this study about every 6 years. They asked everybody at age 25, where do you see yourself 40 years from now? So during your working life period, okay? Now many of us, I know I started when I was 14, but you may have worked more, but your first serious job generally is about 25, okay? So from 25 to 65, where do you see yourself at age 65? Rich or broke?
Rich.
Does anybody know any 25-year-olds who go, oh yeah, I want to be on the broke pile? No way, right? You wouldn't admit it even if you thought you were going that way, right? Okay? But see, here's the key. No matter what anybody tells you right now, whoever you work with, live next to, are related to, here's what the actual statistics, and they have not changed in 40 years. Right? 54 flat broke. Who wants to be there at 65? Would you say that there's a problem generally if that's where at least half of the room would end up? If there was 100 people in here, we asked everybody, would you see that that's a problem, yes or no?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, richest, most educated country in the world, and half of us end up broke. How about this one? 36 are flat broke and still working. Doesn't say flat broke and still working, but if you're still working at 65, it's because you're flat broke, right?
Right.
And I think the difference between the two is that the 36 are physically capable of working. That's the major difference. Would you agree? Okay.
Yes.
So because some people at 65 can't physically work. Okay, depending upon what you do for a living. I mean, you've been in the electrical engineer, and right, but you've probably seen many people in the other areas of construction where it's a little bit more physically demanding on the body. Okay, and they can't do that anymore, right? Okay, if you were a roofer and fell off the roof, okay, I mean, you can't do that too many times before you got to call it quits, right? How about this one? 5 are dead. Can't do nothing about them. Anybody want to join them? No. Okay, good. 4 are debt free. Now let's think about this. Bryce, think about what you make right now. And as I'm talking to Bryce, I'm talking through Bryce to everybody else, okay? If you, with what you make today, if you didn't owe anybody any money, you had no rent or mortgage payment, no car payment, no credit card debt, okay? Would your lifestyle be different?
Yes.
Absolutely, right? Okay, because the money's yours then.
Right.
So you can either save more or play more or whatever it is. And isn't that where you want to be 65?
Yes.
Okay, so you want to pay attention to this. And only one is rich, okay? Who wants to be that one? Okay, I had my hand up first. Okay, so when you take a look at that, one is rich. So 5% succeed, okay, and 95% fail. Why is that? Because neither group planned to fail, or that 95% failed to plan?
Failed
to plan.
Are we in like a microwave society today? Where everybody wants stuff like yesterday, right? Okay, so they're too busy living today to plan for the future. Would you agree? Okay, and see what happens sometimes is you can miss that. Okay, now if you were going to drive to Disney. Okay, there's 2 Disneys, by the way, right? Okay, one in California, which is closer, and then there's in Florida, right? if you're going to go to either one, would you just leave your house, Bryce, driving around the neighborhood hoping to bump into the entrance at some point, or would you get a map?
Yes, map.
A map, right? Okay. Hopefully you had enough money to fly, but if you were going to drive, because you maybe want to spend some time out there, and depending upon which area you're going to be in, it would make sense to have a map, yes?
Yes.
And there's many ways to get that done. And what you take a look at here is that who wants to be in the 5% plane? Okay? Now see, I don't know which side of the fence you're on right now and which side you're headed to, only you do, okay? But it's all safe to assume that nobody wants to be on that side?
Right.
Correct.
Okay, chances are we all need to make some changes then, right?
Right.
Okay? Now take a look at this. Let's break down the rich 1%. Doesn't it make good sense if the only 1% becomes wealthy that we actually examine, okay, how the wealthy got there?
Yes.
Does that make good sense? I mean, think about this, folks. You take a look at, on the folks that are all wealthy. Only 3% of America makes money through investing. And Kevin said that the wealthy people make more money off their investments than their job, right? So we need to make sure that we study there to see if we have the best odds. Okay? Well, 1% of the 1% gets there through inheritance or lottery. Who's got some super wealthy relatives and they're guaranteed to leave you some? I don't have any, okay? They're all pointing to me. Hey, get after it, okay? You know? And I don't have any problems with that, because in every family, there has to be one that starts, right?
Right.
Kennedy, Grandpa Joe Kennedy, John Paul Getty. Everybody, there's got to be one person that says they make a decision, they act on that decision, and they stick to it no matter what till they succeed, right? But this, realistically, for most of us, ain't going to happen, okay? How about 5% are salespeople? Super salespeople. The kind that can, they take your socks off and your shoes are still on, Bryce, okay?
Yeah.
Or the type of person that's selling like skyscrapers and airplanes, okay? Where one transaction is $100,000 to $1 million in commission, okay? That would be a way to make it there, right? Does anybody see themselves in that position with those kind of skills?
No.
No, okay? Otherwise you wouldn't be sitting here this morning, yes?
Right.
You'd be up here, okay? Or something, or you'd be doing something similar to it. Would you agree?
Right.
How about this? 10% are CEOs or presidents of like Walmart or Home Depot or Walgreens or whatever, okay? Anybody got that resume?
No.
What's your chances of getting there too, right? A lot of politics. Who's ever worked for somebody else? Is there any politics in regular jobs?
Yes.
Imagine working your way up to that deal, okay? How about this one? 10% are doctors and attorneys. Now think about this. Does everybody know a doctor or an attorney who's got like a really small little office or whatever else and you never see any traffic going in there?
Yes.
So does that mean all doctors and attorneys do that? Absolutely not, right? The average doctor makes $79,000 a year, and the average attorney makes $68,000 a year. And the problem is that, does anybody ever have student loans? Okay? They never go away. By the way, you have a party at 65 when you paid it off. But think about this. Those folks both have $200,000 plus in student loans. So how would you like to pay off a student loan? Does anybody know anybody who's got student loans? Okay? They're paying off $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 on their $40,000 a year job. Imagine paying off a $200,000 student loan, okay, which is generally as high as most people's mortgages, with the same job. Would that be good? No way, right? Okay. How about this one? 74%, the lion's share through small business. And by the way, okay, Forbes magazine designates small businesses that you have less than 500 employees. Okay, so you take a look at that. Would you like to be able to get yourself into a small business, Bryce? Does it make sense to at least examine this area enough, Maria, right, to be able to get there? Okay, so what we do at Nation's Funny Stores is we give people a chance to become that small business owner. Okay, for the price of basically dinner and a movie, you get a chance to get into a business that will pay you forever. Okay, who'd like to be paid forever? Okay, I like that, right? Now, who gets paid forever? Artists, right? Writers of books. People that make movies, stuff like that, okay? So you get a chance to build something similar. Take a look at this. Do you think that the money challenge, okay, we all talked about how money works. Has anybody ever heard of the Rule 72? Okay? See, Kevin talked about that, again, the wealthy make more money